Greetings, infinite blessings, and welcome to another episode of Together We Rise. My name is Kaine Stromberg, the Cosmic Surfer, and it is my honour and privilege to guide you along your journey of inner discovery, to lead you back home to yourself. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and stay tuned to listen to today's episode about conscious parenting, being spiritually aware and gifting and passing that information and wisdom on to the next generation, as the children are the future in all ways, and anything built that will stand and last through the storms of life must have a strong foundation and be built from the ground up. So, conscious parenting. What is consciousness? It's an awareness. It's an awareness of your surroundings, an awareness of yourself, and to be able to respond to stimuli and be consciously aware of this. As human beings, we are very unique in the fact that we are aware that we are aware, and that we actually procrastinate over thinking about thinking. We have a thought and then we judge and analyse that thought. We condemn ourselves if it is negative or we perceive it as such, and we try to escape it or to change it, to try to project ourselves to be a certain way, thinking that if we have had a negative thought, then others will be able to see this negativity. In truth, you are partly correct, as it all starts with a thought, and everything in existence is only taking place within your mind. A thought leads to an action, and an action taken over and over again leads to a habit. The habits that you embody then become and make up the characteristics of the person you are, the character you play in this game we call life. And the character you play will walk a set path within a certain boundary of limitations or unlimited potential, depending on the character that you have adopted, towards your final destination, towards your happy ever after. If you are existing in lack or limitation, victimhood or poor me, then that is what you will experience, and that is what you will then pass on to those around you. Information is passed down energetically and stored within the DNA, within the blood, within the very fibre of your being, passed to the generations that come after you, and you have taken it from the generations before you. You have certain traits passed down from your parents, and you will pass that on to your children. Yet they are all programs. And at the fundamental core of everything in existence, everybody is the same potential. Some of us just have more layers of separation and illusion covering up that infinite potential. You are a being of unlimited potential. All you need to do is focus on the areas of life where you are unlimited, where you have abundance, where you feel limitless, and grow them. I'd suggest heading over to the Cosmic Surfer YouTube channel if you are not watching this video there, subscribing to the channel and actually watching the truth to the law of attraction, as well as how to love yourself. There is some very powerful information housed on the channel where we share all the information that we have experienced firsthand, as well as that I channel from source, delivering it to you. To understand the truth, the law of attraction will then allow you to better pass that information on, pass the learnings on to your children, which you mindfully choose as opposed to unconsciously pass on, unconsciously react with. Everything is a reaction. You have a thought, you react in a certain way. But it's the thoughts which then create the emotions that you experience. And you have the ability to change your internal dialogue, your submodalities, and with it, the behaviours that you have adopted, the programs that you run. To be conscious of your parenting ability is to give your children the space to be, the space to grow, the space to discover their own way. Not to confine them, not to limit them, not to control them, but to allow them to exist as they are. To allow them to fall over on occasion so that they learn how to get back up. To encourage them always and to let them know how special, how loved and how secure they are in their environment and their ability to always share with you. I have 2 children myself, and I base my parenting on the way that I would have wished to have received information when I was a child myself. To have that unconditional support, to know that you're always more than good enough, that there is never anything wrong. That it is the journey that is to be enjoyed, not the destination that you are travelling towards that is the concern. That in truth there is no concerns, there is no worries, because life is the gift which is to be enjoyed in this moment of now. I never tell my children off. I never tell them they are wrong, they are bad. There is never any negativity that I instill in them. You tell a child they are bad, they believe it. You are their primary caregiver, and the programs which they adopt and then take through life come primarily from you, from the caregivers around them, from their peers, from their friends, their teachers, but primarily from the 2 people that they love and adore and admire more than anybody else. Your children seek your approval, and they will act in a way that they feel that you desire them to be in order to gain that approval. I know this firsthand, as well as meditating on it and having it confirmed energetically by source. Allow your child to be whoever they are. Liken to colour. If they are born blue, let them be blue. If they are born green, let them be green. If they want to be outside playing, enjoying life in the elements, grounded to the present moment, but you would rather that they were indoors studying and becoming technologically advanced, you will only ever cause them suffering if you try to manipulate them into being something that they are naturally otherwise. Let them be who they are. Instead of telling my children they are bad, we don't even use the word bad. I say, do you think the thing that you just did was a good thing or not a good thing? It is not them, it is a thing they have done, and then they can analyse it and choose the answer themselves. Then we say, okay, so maybe there'd be a more beneficial way to respond in future. We learn and we grow, and then we let go. To tell your children that something is factually correct, to then exclude everything else, is limiting their ability to perceive. If you tell them that they are good at something and they will not be good at something else, then they will grow up to believe that to be true. I've included this in the Why Racism Still Exists video. And to all people of all colours around the entire globe, there is no difference, there is no separation other than the program which you are instilling in your children now. To tell your children that they will suffer at the hands and be repressed because of the colour of their skin, they will believe it so and they will act accordingly. They will have those programs installed in them. It is a program that was passed down from your parents to you, and that you will pass to your children unless you mindfully and consciously alter that program. Take it out, remove it, and install a more beneficial and mindfully chosen one. That is what I do in the one-on-one sessions with my clients. We take out limiting and outdated programs that have been there for 20, 30 years and install new, mindfully chosen ones. Do not limit your children's growth. Do not overprotect them. Do not push them into a boundary of existence, put them in a box and limit them to experience anything outside of that box. There are so many children now that are strapped into technology as soon as they are born. You're bored, here, look at this screen. By doing that, you are filling up their consciousness, their awareness, their time, but you are taking away their ability for genius. As by allowing a child to become bored, that child then uses its creative potential to imagine and create within their mind's eye something outside of their physical representation of reality. I used to do all sorts of weird and wonderful things with my imagination as a child, and I still do. Yet the more and more that this is taken away from children, the more that they will lack the ability to even use their imagination, to create anything outside of what is right in front of them. We are all limitless. By closing your eyes and imagining, picturing, creating something so, it is so. You experience it, therefore it is reality. The past exists only in your mind. The present moment, being the only time that ever exists only in your mind. Everything is energy vibrating at different frequencies, and it does so in waveform. Wherever you vibrate at yourself, you attract from the universe around you. Again, go over and watch the truth of the law of abundance, the law of attraction, and how to manifest your abundance. Included, actually, we have got an online course on the website. Abundance is your birthright, and all you need to do is align with abundance in all areas of life to then receive it. It's that simple. So, if you imagine something, then it exists in your mind. You may not be able to actually experience it or hold it. There are certain limitations within this 3D realm, such as you will not actually be able to physically fly. You close your eyes and you can soar to the furthest depths and reaches of the universe. This is what we do as children. This is what we are able to experience in deep trance-like meditations. Yet by taking it away from a child, you are taking away their ability to experience anything outside of this conscious 3D matrix reality. And again, this present moment is an interpretation. It's energy vibrating at different frequencies. I interpret it a certain way, that you interpret it in another way. Everything I can see, everything I can hear, feel, taste, touch, smell is all electrical signals firing within my brain. It is my interpretation of it, and it depends on my perspective. What I view as positive, another person may not even care about, and what another person views as negative may not affect me, because we have different personal perceptions of it, different attachments to it. Our egos are more invested in certain things than others. I'm more invested in my children than in your children. Therefore, I put my children above yours from an egoic stance. Yet from a conscious I am, as opposed to an egoic I am, we are all one and the same. There is no separation, only the illusion of it. And again, the future. The future exists only within your mind. And a conscious thought or projection to a future event, and a want or desire to control it or to escape potential negatives which may be attached to it, which then causes anxiety and fear, etc., etc., is being created and experienced in your mind. The event does not actually take place. It does not exist. It doesn't exist now, and it's most likely not going to exist in the future. But if you align yourself with that one thing that you are so fearful of, then you will walk that path, because it becomes the only thing you are focused upon. Again, I'm getting a bit too much into the law of attraction here, so let's go back to parenting. But what I'm trying to say is it is an interpretation, is your perspective. And allow your children to become bored so that they can create things within their mind that do not exist within this physical 3D realm. then they can experience a realm beyond this reality. And they can dream and achieve those dreams. The dreamer of the dream is the same person who achieves those dreams. Yet you take away the ability to dream and you take away the ability to achieve. Okay? And last thing that I would suggest and guide you towards is not smothering your children, not overprotecting them, not wrapping them up in that cotton wool or that bubble wrap. I know there is a desire to keep your children safe. They are your most prized commodity, possession. Even the context of words to use to describe what a child is. There is no word. There is no natural, non-ownership based word. Your child, my child. So therefore you feel responsible for them and you'll do everything in your power to protect them. This is natural, but it is the realization that they are not your children. They have chosen you just as much as you have chosen them, if in fact not more so. Upon coming here within this life, within this realm of existence, your children chose you. They chose you because you will assist them in their learnings and their growth. You will help to provide them certain situations and events which will allow for them to learn what it is that they require the learnings of, to transcend limitations of old and expand their consciousness, continuing the eternal expansion of the universe. So the way that I was showing this concept is a plant growing within a pot. It is beneficial to plant a seed in a small pot and to grow it within a greenhouse. There it is protected from the elements, it is sheltered from the frosts in the spring, and it is able to grow to its optimal condition. But if you keep it protected from the elements so that it does not have the winds and the rain batter it or the potential to become uprooted or broken, then you are limiting its potential to grow its roots deep and true. You are limiting its potential to experience the wind and the rain of life and to therefore be able to withstand it. If you grow your child protected, always doing everything for them, limiting their negative experiences, preventing them from falling over, you are actually preventing them from being able to learn how to get back up. Children need to experience suffering on a minor scale in order to become aware that it is part of this reality and able to accept it and transcend it, allow it to flow through. If you protect a child by wrapping them in bubble wrap, likened to a plant being grown within a greenhouse, it will get to a point where it needs to grow larger than that pot. It needs to spread its root system into its own foundation, its own worth, its own belief, becoming its own person, but you want to control it and limit it to grow in the manner which you see fit, which you believe correct. Because you believe it to be true, it does not make it so. And what is most beneficial for you is not necessarily going to be most beneficial for your children or for anybody else. If it works for you, great. It may not work for somebody else. By taking that plant out and planting it in the garden, that small sapling can grow within the elements, experiencing the rain, experiencing the sun, experiencing the wind, and it will grow a deep, strong and foundational root system. It will grow a solid trunk that is able to withstand the winds of life and also learn to bend to the will of the wind so that it is not snapped. It can grow to its optimal condition as it is given the ability and the freedom to do so. Kept within that greenhouse, it will be limited in its ability to grow. It will outgrow its pot and its root system will start to intertwine. It will become lost in its direction because it is trying to please you as well as finding its own way. And it cannot do both. A child is best given freedom of growth, given direction and the freedom of choice to choose. Otherwise, when it comes to the point when it is time to have that tree go off into the wilderness, it will become uprooted or snapped or broken by the first storm that comes along, as it would have never understood or been subjected to prior ones. Again, I give my children the freedom of choice in all they do, and this can sometimes backfire to a degree because I ask them to do their homework as an example and they say that they don't want to. So then we discuss the reasonings for actually doing it as opposed to not doing it. Everything is choice, everything is freedom of choice. Your free will governs all. Yet sometimes we are required to do certain things for the outcome that is most beneficial for ourselves and the collective. So go to work. You may not want to go to work, but you choose to so that you can pay the bills, so that you can provide the life and security for your family which you seek and desire. So therefore it is your choice to go to work. You could choose not to. It would have consequences, and it depends whether the consequences are worth experiencing to whether the choice is worth taking. To give your power away to somebody else, to say they have hurt me or wronged me, they have drained me. You are giving them your power. That is your free will, your choice. I never tell them to do anything. I ask them, and together we come to a conclusion. We discuss everything openly so that they are able to grow accordingly. Let your children be free. Let them make their own mistakes. Let them learn how to fall over in multiple situations so they then know how to get back up in all of those situations. The leaders of tomorrow are those which have the experience to lead. Let your children find their own foundation, plant their roots in their own belief systems, and take their own path towards their own destination. They are not your children. That is your ego. They are their own self, just as you are. And just as you felt limited by your parents trying to manipulate you to do as they willed, if you have got to a point now where you feel free from your parents and the desire to seek their approval, then that is amazing, and I welcome you to a very small select few. Again, if you have not, then go over and utilize the cord cutting meditation on the Cosmic Surfer YouTube channel. Cut cords with all of your parents, all of relationships of old, all experiences of old, and create new mindfully chosen ones, ones that benefit you now. Not the energetic ties which you developed when you were 3 years old, so that every time you have an interaction with your parent, you revert back to that 3-year-old self, to that needy and scared version. You required your parents' approval for your very survival at some point. You required their love, affection and protection. You don't now. Please don't pass this programming on to your children. Please be one of the few conscious parents that are allowing their children to discover their own path and walk it within their own destinational free will of choice. I'm going to go this way in a moment because that's the way I choose. But if, when I get a third of the way along that path, I decide I'm going to go over there, then I may do. Or I may even head over, speak to that group of lads and girls and ask to join in their game of volleyball. Because if you don't ask, you don't get. And if you don't look outside of your potential of previous experiences, you will never have any new ones. Again, allow your children to become bored so they can create in their mind things which do not exist in this realm of existence, because everything is experienced within the mind, and what you experience in your mind is just as true as what you experience in this physical realm. Do not shelter them, do not try to control them, do not tell them they are wrong or instill any negativity within their consciousness, because that voice that whispers in your mind comes from your parents. If it is one of positivity, it will encourage them in every event going forward. If it is one of negativity, it will limit them and lack them to experience the potential of the infinite that they are. To achieve your goals, your dreams in life, first you must feel worthy of doing so, to have any chance, and then learn the tools, techniques, tips, tricks, information required to do so. Ensure that your children feel worthy to be, without having to do or achieve. Worthy just because they are. As always, I thank you for everything you do and for who you are. If you have not done so, subscribe to the channel, share this video with all parents that you know, so that together we can create a world of true equality, starting with the future generation, the children and the leaders of tomorrow. I thank you from the bottom of my heart and with all my soul. Now and forever, we are in this together. United we stand, and together we rise. Grand rising, all you beautiful souls. Until next time, love, peace, infinite blessings. Namaste.